millions of years ago, the world was a place of constant danger. Vast forests, open plains, and jagged cliffs were home to fierce predators: lions, hyenas, saber-toothed cats, and massive reptiles. Nothing was predictable, and life was fragile. For early humans, survival wasn't just about finding food or shelter. It was about protecting the most vulnerable among them, their young. Imagine a tiny child, unarmed and defenseless, alone in a prehistoric landscape. A single misstep could mean disaster. Yet, these early humans survived and thrived. How? Through courage, intelligence, and an unwavering instinct to protect the next generation. They built shelters, formed tight-knit communities, and developed strategies that balanced risk and reward. Every day was a battle against hunger, thirst, predators, and the elements. Every step required awareness and cooperation. From carrying infants while hunting to using natural barriers for protection, early humans displayed remarkable ingenuity. Their efforts ensured that life continued and that knowledge, skills, and survival instincts were passed down. This story takes you back millions of years to explore how our earliest ancestors defended their young, showing the bravery, creativity, and resilience that would eventually shape humanity itself. It's a story of survival, family, and the extraordinary lengths to which humans went to protect the future. The harsh reality of prehistoric life. Millions of years ago, life for early humans was unimaginably harsh. The world was wild, untamed, and often unforgiving. Vast forests, open plains, and rocky landscapes were home to fierce predators. Saber-toothed cats prowled in the shadows, massive hyenas scavenged in packs, and venomous snakes and reptiles lurked in hidden corners. For humans, survival was a daily struggle, and the young were the most vulnerable. Food was never guaranteed. Hunting large animals was risky and required skill and cooperation, while gathering fruits, roots, and other edible plants demanded constant vigilance. Extreme weather, from scorching heat to sudden storms and freezing nights, added another layer of danger. Without proper shelter or protection, humans and their children could easily fall victim to the environment. The stakes were even higher for families. A single attack from predators could wipe out a group, and any loss of young ones threatened the continuity of the species. Early humans quickly learned that protecting the young was not optional, it was essential for survival. Those who failed to defend their children risked the extinction of their lineage. In addition to predators and the environment, humans faced threats from other humans or rival groups competing for resources. Conflicts were common, and early humans had to remain alert to potential danger from all directions. Every step required awareness, every decision had consequences, and every moment of carelessness could be fatal. Despite these challenges, early humans demonstrated extraordinary resilience. They learned to observe animal behavior, anticipate threats, and create strategies for defense. Caves, cliffs, and natural shelters became safe havens for infants and children. Parents and older members of the group constantly remained vigilant, ready to react at the first sign of danger. The harsh reality of prehistoric life shaped early humans into vigilant, strategic, and cooperative beings. Protecting their young wasn't just about love, it was a matter of survival, forcing them to develop skills, intelligence, and behaviors that would lay the foundation for human society. In these early, perilous times, every successful defense of a child was a triumph, a small victory that ensured life would continue in a dangerous world. The role of community and social bonds. One of the most important strategies early humans used to protect their young was strength in numbers. Unlike many animals that leave their young hidden while adults hunt, early humans relied on community and cooperation. Survival depended on more than individual skill, it required teamwork. Early humans lived in small groups or clans, often numbering just a few families. Within these groups, responsibilities were shared. While some members went hunting or foraging for food, others stayed behind to watch over the children, ensuring they were safe from predators or rival groups. Every member of the community played a role in defense, and this shared responsibility greatly increased the survival chances of the young. Communication and coordination were key. Early humans developed basic sounds, gestures, and signals to alert each other to danger. If a predator was spotted, a sharp warning call could send adults rushing to protect the vulnerable, while others distracted or drove the threat away. These early forms of teamwork were critical in a world where a single mistake could cost lives. Older siblings often helped as well. They learned early on that watching over younger children was essential, not just for the infant's survival but for the community as a whole. In turn, this shared caregiving taught cooperation, empathy, and responsibility, qualities that would become central to human development. Even the act of moving as a group provided protection. Traveling in numbers made it more difficult for predators to attack, as there were more eyes to spot danger and more hands to defend. Adults could position themselves strategically, keeping the most vulnerable members, infants and toddlers, at the center, surrounded by protection on all sides. Community living also allowed for knowledge sharing. Adults could teach each other about threats, safe locations, and effective ways to protect children. Over time, this led to more advanced strategies, building simple shelters, using fire to deter predators, and planning routes to avoid dangerous areas. The bonds within these early human groups weren't just social, they were lifelines for survival. In essence, early humans understood instinctively that protecting the young was a group effort. The survival of infants and children wasn't just a family matter, it was a community priority. These social bonds, forged in a world full of danger, became the backbone of human society, laying the foundation for cooperation, trust, and empathy that continues to define us today. Physical strategies for defense. Early humans faced a world filled with constant threats, and protecting the young required more than social cooperation. It required practical, physical strategies. Infants and toddlers were vulnerable, unable to defend themselves, and often the most targeted by predators. To survive, early humans had to adapt their environment and behavior to keep their children safe. One of the most important strategies was finding or creating shelter. Caves offered natural protection from predators and harsh weather. These safe havens were often located in strategic areas, high ground, narrow entrances, or hidden spots where large predators could not easily enter. Families learned to choose locations that provided both safety and access to food and water, balancing security with practicality. When caves were unavailable, early humans used temporary shelters made from branches, leaves, and animal hides. These structures were lightweight and could be moved as the group traveled, offering protection wherever they went. The shelters not only shielded infants from the elements but also acted as a barrier against predators, giving adults precious time to respond to threats. Carrying the young was another critical strategy. Infants were often secured to their mothers or fathers, or placed in slings made from leaves, vines, or animal skins. This ensured that children were never left unprotected while adults hunted or foraged. Carrying the young allowed parents to remain mobile, avoiding dangerous areas while keeping their children close at all times. Hiding children in natural barriers was also common. Thick foliage, dense bushes, or narrow rock crevices could serve as safe spots when immediate threats arose. Older siblings and adults would sometimes use distraction techniques, leading predators away from hiding spots while the youngest members stayed concealed. Additionally, early humans learned to modify the landscape subtly to improve safety. They might place sharp sticks around sleeping areas, create noise barriers, or even use fire to deter nocturnal predators. Fire was particularly revolutionary. Not only did it provide warmth and light, but it also acted as a psychological and physical shield, keeping dangerous animals at a distance. Through these physical strategies, early humans demonstrated remarkable ingenuity. They didn't just react to threats, they planned, adapted, and controlled their environment to protect their young. These early behaviors highlight the extraordinary resourcefulness of our ancestors and show that survival was not only about strength but also about cleverness, foresight, and the ability to use the world around them as a shield. Teaching the young early survival skills. Protecting the young was not only about immediate defense, it was also about preparing them to survive on their own in the future. Early humans understood instinctively that children needed to learn essential skills as soon as possible, because knowledge could mean the difference between life and death. From a very young age, children observed the behaviors of adults and older siblings. They watched how parents foraged for food, how they reacted to predators, and how they navigated dangerous terrain. This observational learning was crucial. It allowed children to acquire survival skills without the immediate risks of trial and error. Every glance, gesture, and action served as a lesson in safety. Storytelling likely played a role as well. Early humans could have used gestures, sounds, and simple narratives to teach children about threats, safe places, and strategies for hiding or escaping predators. Even without words as we know them today, these stories were ways to pass knowledge from one generation to the next, reinforcing crucial survival behaviors. Children were also taught through direct practice. Parents and older members might simulate dangers, pretending to stalk, hide, or react to a threat, so children could practice defensive actions in a controlled setting. This hands-on experience built confidence, awareness, and quick reflexes, preparing young humans to respond effectively when real danger appeared. Moreover, early humans emphasized recognizing predators and signs of danger. From tracks in the mud to the sounds of nearby animals, children learned to interpret their environment. They learned which areas were safe, where predators might hide, and how to move quietly and cautiously. Even playful exploration became a form of training, helping children develop agility, strength, and problem-solving skills. By teaching the young early humans ensured the continuity of knowledge and survival instincts. This education wasn't formal, it was embedded in daily life, integrated with play, work, and community living. The act of teaching and learning became a part of social bonds, strengthening family and group cohesion. In essence, the protection of young humans was a combination of immediate defense and long-term preparation. Adults not only kept their children safe in the moment but also ensured they would grow into capable survivors, ready to face the challenges of a world filled with predators, harsh climates, and unpredictable dangers. These early lessons laid the groundwork for the intelligence, resilience, and ingenuity that define humanity today. Weapons and tools for protection. As early humans faced constant threats, they quickly realized that brains could triumph over brawn. Survival required not just vigilance, but the use of tools and weapons to defend themselves and their young. Even the simplest objects, sticks, stones, or sharpened bones, could become life-saving instruments in the hands of a clever human. Sticks and branches were often the first weapons. They could be used to strike or scare away predators, extend reach, or create barriers between danger and the young. Stones, when thrown with precision, could deter animals or signal warnings to the rest of the group. Over time, humans learned to sharpen bones and rocks, creating pointed implements that increased their ability to defend against even large predators. The invention of fire was a game changer. Flames provided warmth and light, but more importantly, they became a powerful defensive tool. Nighttime attacks from predators were discouraged by fire's presence. The sight of flames could keep dangerous animals at bay, allowing families to rest while their young slept safely nearby. Fire was both a shield and a signal, alerting the group to threats and warning predators that humans were present. Early humans also used group strategies with tools. Adults would form protective circles around infants, armed with sticks or stones, ready to strike at any approaching danger. Older siblings could create diversions, throwing objects, or making noise to draw predators away from hiding spots. Even simple tools multiplied the effectiveness of community defense, turning a small group of humans into a formidable protective force. Some early humans likely adapted their environment as a defensive measure. Sharp sticks could be placed around sleeping areas, thorny branches could form natural fences, and rocks could be stacked to create barriers. These adaptations demonstrated problem-solving and foresight, allowing humans to prepare safe zones for their young in advance. Through weapons, tools, and environmental modifications, early humans were able to extend their protective reach far beyond their physical strength. Even infants, who could not defend themselves, were given a fighting chance. The combination of ingenuity, cooperation, and simple technology ensured that early humans could survive in a hostile world, safeguarding the next generation and allowing knowledge, skills, and survival instincts to be passed down through time. Cooperation between adults and older siblings. Protecting the young was never the responsibility of just one person. Early humans understood that survival depended on teamwork, and this included a special role for older siblings. While adults hunted, gathered, or watched for predators, older children often took on the task of looking after the youngest members of the group. Older siblings acted as guardians, keeping infants and toddlers safe while learning responsibility, alertness, and the basics of survival. This shared duty not only protected the young but also strengthened family and group bonds. Children were taught early that every member of the group mattered, and that cooperation was essential to survival. Groups often formed protective circles, with adults and older children surrounding infants. Older siblings could create diversions or distractions if danger approached, throwing stones, making noise, or guiding predators away from the vulnerable. Their presence allowed adults to focus on other survival tasks while maintaining the safety of the young. This cooperation was also a form of early training. By participating in the defense of younger children, older siblings developed skills in vigilance, problem solving, and strategic thinking. They learned how to react to threats, how to communicate danger, and how to work as part of a coordinated unit, all critical skills for survival in a dangerous prehistoric world. If you're fascinated by the survival strategies of our earliest ancestors, hit that subscribe button and join us as we explore more incredible stories of human ingenuity and resilience. The combined efforts of adults and older siblings created a layered defense system. Infants were never left unattended, and the young could grow in a relatively safe environment, even in the midst of predators, harsh climates, and scarcity of food. Cooperation ensured that knowledge, skills, and survival instincts were transferred from one generation to the next, reinforcing the group's strength and resilience. Through this shared responsibility, early humans not only protected their young but also fostered strong social bonds and teamwork, key elements that would define human society for millions of years to come. The role of intelligence and problem solving. Early humans survived not just through physical strength or numbers, but through intelligence, quick thinking, and problem solving. Protecting their young required more than simple reactions. It demanded foresight, creativity, and the ability to adapt to an unpredictable world. One of the most important tools was anticipation. Early humans learned to read their environment carefully, spotting potential threats before they became immediate dangers. Tracks in the mud, unusual animal calls, or disturbed vegetation could all signal a predator nearby. By recognizing these warning signs, adults and older siblings could move infants to safety or prepare a defense in advance. Fire played a critical role in problem solving. Beyond warmth and cooking, fire was used as a protective tool, keeping nocturnal predators at bay. The glow and crackle of flames created a barrier that animals often avoided. Early humans also discovered that smoke could act as a signal to alert others or as a deterrent to insects and smaller threats, showcasing their ability to use natural resources strategically. Humans also employed distraction and deception techniques. If a predator approached, adults or older siblings might create noise, throw objects, or lead the threat away from infants. Clever positioning, such as hiding in bushes or behind rocks, allowed them to outsmart predators without direct confrontation. These techniques demonstrated foresight and an understanding of cause and effect. Problem solving extended to daily routines as well. Foraging routes were planned to minimize exposure to danger. Campsites were chosen for visibility, proximity to water, and natural protection. Even play and exploration had a purpose. Children learned agility, observation, and quick reactions in a controlled environment, preparing them to respond effectively when real threats appeared. This intelligence was not accidental. It was a survival trait honed over generations. Groups that could anticipate, adapt, and strategize were more likely to protect their young successfully, ensuring that knowledge, skills, and instincts were passed on. By thinking ahead, early humans could transform vulnerability into safety, danger into opportunity, and chaos into order. Through intelligence and problem solving, early humans turned a world full of predators and hazards into a manageable environment, proving that the mind can be as powerful a tool as strength, speed, or numbers. Protecting the young was not just instinct, it was a calculated effort, shaped by observation, learning, and innovation. Lessons from our ancestors. The survival strategies of early humans teach us more than just how they protected their young. They reveal the foundation of human ingenuity, cooperation, and resilience. Millions of years ago, every decision mattered, and every protective action helped shape the species we are today. From using natural shelters to carrying infants, from forming tight-knit communities to teaching young survival skills, early humans combined instinct, intelligence, and social cooperation. They understood that survival depended not only on individual strength but on working together, anticipating threats, and using every available resource wisely. These lessons are also about adaptation and foresight. Early humans constantly learned from their environment, experimenting with tools, fire, and defensive techniques to keep their children safe. They solved complex problems, whether it was choosing the safest campsite, creating barriers against predators, or teaching children the skills they needed to survive. Every act of protection and teaching reinforced the community, strengthened social bonds, and ensured the passing down of essential knowledge. Emotion and care were also central. While survival required strategy and skill, love and commitment to the young drove humans to take risks, innovate, and cooperate. These early bonds were the beginning of human society, fostering trust, empathy, and shared responsibility, qualities that remain at the heart of human civilization today. Ultimately, the story of early human defense is a story of resilience, courage, and ingenuity. It reminds us that survival was not just about physical strength, but about the mind, the community, and the deep instinct to protect the next generation. Our ancestors' actions millions of years ago shaped not only their survival but the path of humanity itself. By understanding how they defended their young, we gain insight into the origins of human intelligence, parenting, and cooperation. These lessons are timeless, showing us that even in the harshest conditions, humans have always found ways to survive, thrive, and ensure that life continues. The courage that shaped humanity. The story of early humans defending their young is more than a tale of survival. It is a testament to courage, intelligence, and the power of cooperation. Millions of years ago, in a world full of predators, harsh climates, and scarce resources, our ancestors found ways to protect their most vulnerable, ensuring that life would continue and knowledge would be passed down. From clever shelters and simple tools to teamwork, teaching, and problem-solving, early humans demonstrated remarkable ingenuity. They turned instinct into strategy, danger into opportunity, and vulnerability into resilience. Every action, every lesson, every act of care helped shape not only their survival but the very essence of humanity. By studying their strategies, we see the roots of our social bonds, our intelligence, and our deep instinct to protect and nurture the next generation. These early lessons remind us that human resilience has always been about more than strength. It's been about thinking, adapting, and caring for one another. If you found this journey into the origins of human survival fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to uncover more incredible stories from the past, where courage and ingenuity shape the world we live in today.